Cooking is a skill that all of us should have. But often, people see the kitchen as a complicated place, full of rules that seem hard to follow. The truth is, learning to cook is much easier than you think. And no, this isn't a cliché. What you need to understand is that, like any other skill, cooking starts simple and grows from there. Let's be honest, you don't need a gourmet course or to spend a fortune on utensils to prepare a delicious meal. The first thing you need to do is demystify the kitchen. Forget the idea that cooking is something reserved only for chefs or people with extraordinary skills. Cooking is for everyone, and you can start right now with what you have at home. Imagine the kitchen as a big playground where you can experiment and have fun. The first step is understanding that you don't need a collection of high-end knives or expensive pots. The basics are more than enough. A good knife, a medium-sized pot, and a cutting board. These three items are your best friends in the kitchen. With them, you can make practically anything. Now that you know the kitchen isn't some kind of monster, let's talk about recipes. When you're starting out, it's easy to be overwhelmed by all the complex recipes out there. But the key is to choose simple recipes that use few ingredients and have straightforward instructions. Think of something like a good old omelette. It's simple, quick, and you can add practically anything you have in the fridge. This is the kind of recipe that builds your confidence. Speaking of confidence, it's important to remember that cooking is a practical skill. The more you do it, the better you get. Practice makes perfect. And yes, at the beginning, you might make mistakes. Maybe you'll burn the garlic or overcook the rice. That's part of the process. But with every mistake, you learn something new, and over time, those mistakes become rare. It's like riding a bike. At first, you might fall a few times, but with practice, you find your balance. Now, let's talk about another important point, customization. The beauty of cooking is being able to adapt recipes to your taste and lifestyle. If you don't like an ingredient, substitute it. If you prefer a healthier version, make adjustments. The kitchen is yours, and you're the boss. And that's powerful. It means you're not just learning to cook, you're learning to create something that's uniquely yours. A great example of this is when you adapt a classic recipe to meet your needs. Let's say you love a good lasagna but are trying to cut down on carbs. Instead of using traditional pasta, how about trying thin slices of zucchini? The dish is still delicious, but now it meets your dietary preferences. That's cooking smart. Another fundamental aspect is planning. Cooking can seem like a tough task when you're tired after a long day at work. But if you plan your meals ahead of time, it becomes much easier. Take some time over the weekend to plan what you'll cook during the week. Buy the right ingredients and, if possible, prep some things in advance. This will save you time and make cooking something enjoyable rather than a chore. Let's take a practical example. Suppose you decided to cook a roast chicken on Wednesday night. On Sunday, you can marinate the chicken and leave it in the fridge. When Wednesday comes, all you have to do is pop it in the oven. While it roasts, you can prepare a salad or any other side dish. This way, you save time and energy, and still have a delicious meal. And remember, cooking is also about experimenting. Don't be afraid to test new flavors and combinations. If a recipe calls for an ingredient you don't have, substitute it with something similar. Cooking isn't an exact science. It's more like art, where you have the freedom to create and innovate. A good analogy is to think of the kitchen as a laboratory. The ingredients are your reagents, and the recipe is your formula. But just like in any experiment, you can adjust the quantities, substitute elements, and see what happens. Sometimes, the result may be better than expected. Other times, it might not turn out as planned. But there's always a lesson to be learned. And if, by chance, you prepare a dish that didn't turn out as expected, don't get discouraged. We've all been there. The important thing is to keep trying. Every dish you make is an opportunity to learn something new and improve your skills. Cooking should be fun, a pleasant experience, not a source of stress. Over time, you'll realize that cooking is a form of self-care. It's a way to connect with yourself, to take care of your body and mind. When you cook, you know exactly what you're putting on your plate, and that's a big step toward a healthier lifestyle. Plus, cooking for yourself or others is an expression of care. It's a gesture that shows attention and thoughtfulness. Now, let's talk about one last thing: patience. Cooking requires patience. Don't try to race against time. Respect the cooking time of the food. A good dish is one that is made with calm and attention. When you respect the process, the result is always better. And this applies to anything in life, not just cooking. Be patient with yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. Cooking, like any other skill, takes time to master. In summary, learning to cook is a journey worth taking. It doesn't have to be complicated or expensive. With basic tools, simple recipes, and constant practice, you can become a good cook. Personalize the recipes to your taste, plan your meals, and above all, be patient. Over time, you'll realize that cooking is, in fact, one of the easiest and most rewarding things you can learn. And believe me, nothing compares to the pleasure of preparing a delicious meal and knowing that you were responsible for it. And as you continue your journey in the kitchen, something interesting starts to happen. You gain more confidence not only in your cooking skills but also in yourself. Cooking, in a way, is a metaphor for life. You start with the basics, learn from your mistakes, make adjustments, and eventually create something wonderful. That confidence you build in the kitchen can extend to other areas of your life. Suddenly, you realize that you can tackle other challenges with the same approach, one step at a time, with patience and practice. Moreover, cooking at home can have a positive impact on your finances. When you learn to prepare your own meals, not only do you save money that you would spend eating out, but you can also better control what you consume. You have the opportunity to choose quality ingredients, avoid ultra-processed foods, and even reduce waste. All of this contributes to a more sustainable and economical lifestyle. And speaking of saving money, consider the impact that small changes in the kitchen can have. For example, by planning your meals and buying only what you really need, you avoid waste and can make the most of the food you buy. Another tip is to buy seasonal products, which are usually cheaper and taste better. And of course, preparing food in large quantities and freezing it for other meals is an excellent way to save time and money. But more than just saving money, cooking at home brings something very special: connection. Cooking for others, whether for family, friends, or someone special, is a powerful way to build bonds. Food has this unique ability to bring people together. A simple dinner prepared at home can turn into a memorable experience, full of conversations, laughter, and meaningful moments. Think about all the times you've shared a meal with someone and how those moments stayed with you. Cooking allows you to create more of those moments. When you invite someone over for dinner at your home, you're not just offering food, you're opening a space of warmth and comfort. It's a way of saying, "I care about you," without using words. As you progress in your culinary journey, you might start exploring new cultures through food. Every country, every region, has its own dishes and culinary traditions. Learning to prepare a dish from another place is like embarking on a journey without leaving home. You discover new flavors, new techniques, and, as a bonus, broaden your horizons. This is another wonder of cooking, the ability to travel the world through flavors. This culinary journey, which started with simple curiosity or necessity, transforms into something much greater. You realize that the kitchen is a space where you can be yourself, where you can express your emotions, where you can find comfort in difficult moments and joy in small victories. And above all, you discover that cooking is an act of love, for yourself, for others, and for life. As you continue to cook, this skill becomes an essential part of who you are. Every dish you prepare is a celebration of your journey, of your progress, of your discoveries. And in the end, you realize that learning to cook was one of the best decisions you ever made. Not because you now know how to make incredible dishes, but because you've learned something even more valuable, the art of taking care of yourself and others in a simple yet deeply meaningful way. And that's what makes the kitchen such a special place. It's more than just a physical space, it's a place where life happens, where memories are made, where connections are strengthened. Every meal prepared is an opportunity to share something good, to make someone's day better, to show that you care. And in doing so, you realize that cooking is easy, because what really matters isn't the complexity of the dish, but the love and dedication you put into every detail. So keep exploring, keep experimenting, keep having fun in the kitchen. Every new dish is a new chance to learn, to grow, to connect. And over time, you'll see that the kitchen has become more than just a place where you prepare meals, it has become a space where you celebrate life, in all its simplicity and beauty. And that, in the end, is what really makes it all worthwhile. Now, tell me, what's your experience in the kitchen? Have you tried applying any of these tips? What do you find most challenging when you're cooking? Leave your answers in the comments, I'd love to know how your culinary journey is going. And if you enjoyed this content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. Oh, and if you know someone who also thinks cooking is complicated, share this video with them. Let's demystify the kitchen together and show that learning to cook is easy, actually. See you in the next video.